Hey, hello, y'all. How y'all doing? Welcome to Access Denied. It's almost Thanksgiving. Can y'all believe that? Can you believe it? I think John is having some technical difficulties um, and maybe trying to come in, but like and share, please. Hey, Timothy. Timothy says, thankful. Yes, we are thankful. We are thankful. Thankful for being here. Y'all like and share as we're almost winding up the year. Almost winding up the year. I think I got something really to be excited about though. We are having a special edition of our speaker series. Um, and you guys know we do a speaker series where we bring in an expert each month. So for November, I am excited to announce that our speaker series, we will welcome Sarah Carpenter from the Memphis Lift and myself. And it's going to be a Tennessee thing. So y'all go ahead and mark your calendars for 6 p.m. November the 28th, a special edition of, our speaker series. We'll have both Tennessee parent advocates um, in one spot, Nashville PROPEL and the Memphis Lift. So I am excited about that. Good morning, Miss Hooten. Tennessee stand up. That's right. It's gonna be a Tennessee thing that night. Woo wait! It's gonna be hot on here. we got an angry grandmother and an angry mom. They pissed off the wrong women when it came to education. We just want what's best for our children. That's all we want. That's all we want. We just want what's best for children. Hey, John, I was telling them the speaker series this month gonna be hot. It's gonna be a
Okay.
thing. Miss Sarah Carpenter from the Memphis Lift and myself, and we go, yeah, it's gonna be
Okay. Well, two powerhouses in one room out of the same state.
hot.
Can't wait.
Woo! Woo! Man. And if you're joining us, like, share. Let's get everybody in here. John, you got your Christmas. What you got up on? You got it all decorated in there.
Yeah. Brittany's mom came through like the true champion she is, and I put a heater in the garage, and she just went to work. I felt bad. I was like, man, you working out of the garage? It's cold, but she ain't come. She come here to love on her grandson and go to work.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
You got a good mother-in-law. So this is what I need you to do. Now, if Brittany doesn't send me the computer or cost and taking everything out the tree, you gotta bring him over my house so he can take the stuff off my tree so I can laugh. I think that's I think it's the funniest. I miss those days. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Hmm.
when we're talking about Gigi's baby. He
Hmm.
stuff off the Christmas tree, and I got 3 trees in here, and I want him to come over
Already.
my tree so I can laugh.
Yes. But yeah, this week is, and I heard you a little bit. My internet was going in and out, but man, we are coming down to the end of the year. January we kicked it off. February was Black History Month. We were at the board, and all throughout the summer, knocking on doors, calling parents, press conferences. And now as we get to November the 16th, as next week is Thanksgiving. We just want to go over with people like, what are you most thankful for? What are
Yeah.
you most thankful for? And I'm thankful first and foremost that Rhea finally got her stuff together where her name can pop up again. Cause she be commenting and she has a powerful voice. And I was like, StreamYard need to keep hating. But in a serious matter, like I am thankful for just family and friends and just everyone who's been a part, not only of the work network, but like our personal life. Coming out of COVID, a lot of changes have been coming along, and just thankful, just for sunshine, for good friends, good family, and people who just genuinely care about you. The older we get, the older I get, I realize like that's what really matters is like being around people who love you. And so I appreciate a lot of you guys. We did our call last night. We've done all these events, and just to come out in the hot sun or even the cold, like that means something.
Yeah. I'm thankful for this hoodie.
Yes.
I'm having a bad hair day. So I'm thankful for this hoodie. So y'all ain't got to see this head. No, but I'm thankful for my friends and my family. 2022 has been a year.
Hmm.
And it's been a year of triumph and loss, but it's also been a lot of great things that have happened, and a lot to celebrate, a lot to mourn, and then a lot to look forward to. So I'm thankful.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, I thought it was because, me, I try to go the cheap route. Just thought you don't want to cut on the heat. It's a sunny day, and save that electric bill because it can get out of control sometimes.
Yeah, Timothy said 2022 has been a full year. Yes, it has.
Hmm.
Yes, it has.
All right. Good morning, Miss Taylor. Rhea in the building. Ashley Taylor and Cree Taylor. Good morning to both of y'all. Timothy, we hear you, man. Health and strength. COVID-19, RSV, ongoing struggles for equity and justice. It's been a lot. It's been a lot.
Yeah. It's been that, and whew, that continues. Unfortunately, a lot of that continues. But when it comes to equity and justice, like that is why we're here. That's why we're building a movement of parents and grandparents and community to make
Hmm.
sure that in particularly Black children, Black and Brown children receive equitable education. So and that hasn't happened yet. And so the
Yeah.
fight continues, the movement continues, and we're just blessed to have a movement of parents and grandparents.
Yeah, it's not even close to being equitable when you look at the numbers. It was an ongoing debate around segregation or desegregation. Like, how has our community been since, Brown versus Board of Education, but in 1972. So 50 years ago, we started the process of desegregating schools. I would love it if someone had access to data to show how we were doing before. I know it's a lot of different tests, standardized tests, but it's some type of measurement to see how has the Nashville education community in the Black neighborhoods and the white neighborhoods been doing since desegregation, and like what are some of the things that we need to bring about, in this field where we are now. And hold on one
Yeah.
sec.
I don't think that things have ever been equitable for Black and Brown students. I mean, even when you think about, you know, segregation and desegregation, um, I think one of the receipts that we have is the protest, like for our ancestors, our people in the past, our civil rights leaders, our children who are now grandparents now who were shut out of schools or discriminated against. So although it became equal, right, that you could go to school with the white people, I don't think that we have yet to seek equity in the school system. And I feel like I'm a receipt of that. I was born in
Hmm.
75. I went to school in the 80s and 90s, and I haven't seen equity. I don't think my mom has seen equity. But equality. You have to be careful what you ask for.
Right.
Think about education and equality. That means you just get to go to school like everybody. That makes it equal. That's the
Yep.
equality.
Yep. But when they move the goalposts, because they're like, oh, we can be equal, but we just gonna move this goalpost. We're gonna create optional schools and magnet schools and private schools, and then you look at the system.
Mhm.
We again, we still haven't rebounded from 72 in terms of school population. Like it's it's something when the school system is majority minority, but we only represent 20, 22, 23% of the population. And so goalposts are definitely being moved.
Absolutely. So I think um we have the receipt
Yes.
that equity has yet to be seen. Um, and so we're still fighting for it, and we're not gonna stop.
Right.
Don't stop. Get it. We're gonna get it, but we got to get it together. We got to get together. Um, and I would say this that some of the obstacles, I'm just gonna be transparent, have been with fighting against black leaders that say they want equity, but afraid to do the things that actually disrupt the inequities. And um, that has been an obstacle for me. Um, for
Well,
me,
it's always been division created amongst us. The funny thing that we always talk about that wasn't funny back then. You categorize some people as house Negroes and field Negroes. The field Negroes, doing the work for the people, working hard, not really getting compensated, and then the house Negro, you can look at it two different ways. One, like they were put there to cause division, or two, like they feel like they have arrived, but their only arrival is they get treated a little bit better than the field Negro. They still treated like a slave. Um, and so when we think about even in today's times, like there are always people in the black, brown, and whatever community who are highlighted. And sometimes they feel like, they have arrived and they're better and they don't want to congregate with us common folks. But sometimes, they're put there for division. They really don't have any real power and they end up being used. And so in our community, I think it's a combination of a little bit of all that. Like people get to the power table as black people and realize that people are still pulling strings.
yeah, and they are all the way around, all the way around. But those of us who know that and see that, know not to bite the bullet, right? We know not
Right.
and not to be, pimped by money, puppeted by puppeteers, and misused by mishandlers.
Hmm.
We know not
It,
to.
it happens. And one of the things I want to show a little bit later on, and it kind of it didn't kind of, it did rub me the wrong way. Miss Taylor, one of our parents who just graduated from the fellowship, had a really strong and impactful interview. And I was agreeing, I was thumbs up, and then at the end, I think the reporter asked the school system, "Hey, but what's up? Like, what are you gonna do?" And then they went into this poverty thing. They said they got a plan to reconnect. But I'm like, if the graduation rate was at 53% and we haven't heard anything, it's been that way since May of this year, and nothing still has happened. Like, what are you really doing? And then you just gotta think like, oh, so now they trying to pimp. Like they're acting like our parents are slow and won't realize that you just got caught. Like you got caught having a terrible graduation rate with no plan, with no accountability, and life was going on. It was business as usual.
And it's the same, it's this school, the administration in this school, from the director of school all the way to the school board, has been very disappointing because, like you said, it's the same status quo that black people are poor, brown people are poor. We're gonna have low expectations for
Yep.
them, and we are
Yep.
unable to educate them because they black and they poor.
And just feel sorry for them. Like give them a hug when you see them.
Yep. Give them a hug.
I don't need your hug.
Mhm.
I tell you that I don't need your hug. I don't need a handout. I just want to say when parents show up to the table, we had a parent who talked about it being the parents' fault, and I ended up having a long conversation, like of just who we are and where we are right now. And if it's just a selective few, but what about everyone else? Like if that ain't your problem, But what about the other people? And I talked about our families like Kimberly Moore, who is a powerhouse, Kendall Moffitt, Victoria Gordon, and many other parents, Miss Cree Taylor, Renee Hooten, who show up consistently. And what happens to them, saying when they show up, when they take time off of work, when they go on their break? What happens when they try to go up to the school to advocate for their kid?
They look at them and they say things like, "We do care about your children. We have children in the school system too."
Hmm. And
And we
then one of the,
and then they'll say, "Wait a minute, can I finish? Wait,
hmm
hold that thought. Let me have a conversation. I'll have a conversation.
okay.
Let's see.
So it's Sonya's getting ready to come back. We're about to have a conversation, but if you're just tuning in, a lot of people who parent shame, I also offer them the opportunity to talk to parents who show up consistently to advocate for their kids and they're still put on the back burner because as we realize, like the way the system is built now, it's not built to really help our kids. And so when you got parents who are coming to the table, who are advocating, they get the runaround because the school a lot of times just don't know what to do, even if it's with policy. And shout out to Cheryl Huff. Hopefully we can have Cheryl on or somebody from the Office of Civil Rights. But they created this current president created an office that deals with a lot of education issues around civil rights that I think may be helpful. We're still getting a lot of information about it because it's newly created. But these are the conversations we need to be having so people can realize that no, like it can never be the parents' fault. Like until they get it right for parents who have been at the table, we ain't gonna parent shame.
You know what? I can't find the two people from the central office right now.
Okay.
Do you mind if I bring them on next week?
Yep, I'll put them on as special guests.
Special guests.
Yes.
We'll have special guests next week from the central
Hmm.
office. We're gonna have a conversation with a few people as we go into Thanksgiving, and they're gonna have to answer to us.
Hmm. Well, Sonya, I haven't seen it, and I know you've seen the full movie, but can they at least answer around reading? So a lot of times we realize, like me working in schools, that was the first time I realized I was in my late 20s, is that kids were coming into middle school 2 grades behind. This was after they done read to their kids, done the Dolly Parton books from Birth Foundation, done got the reading grades that show like A's and B's and they get this impartial test and they say wow, like on average it's 2 grades, and so a lot of times it's more than that. And
Can
what was that movie?
I explain that to people
Hmm.
who don't believe lies? Children don't come in behind on reading. They do not come into the school system behind on reading. Let's get that straight.
Hmm.
They may be behind on vocabulary. Let me tell you why they're not behind on reading. Let me change y'all's mindset. They don't know how to read. They're
Hmm.
not behind on something that you haven't had. Number one, they may be behind on language skills. They may be behind on some recognition of letters, but they're not behind on reading.
Hmm.
So let's get that straight. What should be happening, parents, is I know that a lot of y'all see some of these little toddlers, they can say a whole bunch of stuff, and you be like, they're so smart, and they are. Reading has nothing to do with IQ, has nothing to do with IQ. What should be happening is your child should be able to read everything that they can say first, second grade. Everything they can say, they should be able to read that. So, John, go ahead. Let's talk. I needed to clear um I need to clear the air about that because there's some misconceptions or some misspoken things about children coming in behind. They're probably behind on recognition of letters. But
Mm-hmm.
the biggest thing is sounds make letters. Letters do not make sounds. Sounds
Mm-hmm.
are what form the letter. I'm gonna teach y'all something. I'm gonna teach school districts something in 2023 about reading.
But yeah, but I think the strong part is like the more our parents know, because it's like a lot of people are being misled. And when you got a lot of misleading, they're incorporating intentionally to mislead you. So you're trying to find the truth and you going in circles because you never realize like just why isn't my kid on grade level? Like I know my kid is brilliant. I know they have the genius in them, but these scores keep saying that they're not ready. And so, like, what's the disconnect? And one of the things that I saw from the preview that I'm gonna just continue to highlight and shout out, like it was intentional on misdirecting our kids on how to really read, um, like what they where they needed to be. And I can't wait to see the movie because I look forward to the day where maybe we even do a movie night. We bring in a lot of our Propel parents and anybody else who wants to come to hear the ugly truth.
I am working on having a red carpet screening right here in
Wow.
Nashville, Tennessee. So what John is talking about is Nashville PROPEL was featured in an actual movie. And I had the privilege and the honor of going to the screening of that movie in Detroit a few weeks ago, and I saw the entire movie. And we all looking,
Mm,
telling the ugly truth. And that movie is about the literacy crisis. And that movie also proves that all human beings can be taught how to read.
yeah.
I cannot wait for you guys to see the actual movie. It's at the Sundance Festival now. It is
Wow.
being sent to all streaming networks right now. But my hope is in 2023 that we actually
Yes.
have a red carpet viewing. I'm working on that, and I'll keep you guys posted because you know me. You know I went right to the director and the funders of that movie and asked them why are we not having this in Nashville? Because we are heavily up in that movie, heavily in that movie. So um, I am working on getting that done, but it just tells the ugly truth, John,
Yeah.
about literacy. But also, I'm not gonna give y'all all the information. It sheds light on school districts' inability to even just want to do it.
Hmm.
It's not that hard.
Yeah. Our good friend Emily Hanford, just reading her research, like it tells you that ugly truth. But I think outside of like knowing the ugly truth, I think right now, like my stage is where I was shocked, I was angry, I've been confused. Like, what do I do with this now? It's getting to the point where it's time to take action. Like the truth is the truth. And because of that, like who's gonna be accountable for this? Like I still remember those teachers in Atlanta. They went to jail for the cheating scandal. And that's what I'm just gonna always hold the system to. Like if they went to jail in Atlanta, when you got people who are doing destructive things, and creating backdoor deals, but causes academic harm to our families, like people need to be held accountable.
I remember in Disrupt Dismantle, Soledad asked our vice mayor at the time who was going to be accountable for the inequities in education. He could not answer that.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember her interviewing at the time our chairwoman of the school board, Christian Buggs, who said that the system is under resourced. And I can remember a time where Christian and her counterparts celebrated increasing teacher pay. I can remember the time where we received millions of dollars in ESSER funds. But I also cannot remember a time that we have to celebrate academic achievement for Black students in metro schools. And I'll never forget that. And so now it's not the time to be celebrating those things. It's good to celebrate some things, but the real celebration happens when we can celebrate academic achievement for the most marginalized students
Mm-hmm.
in Metro Public Schools. Oh, what a day that's gonna be, John.
Mm-hmm.
Might be like John from the Bible, David from the Bible. I might
Mm-hmm.
march down 65 North butt naked
Come
and
on
get
now.
out of my clothes. Now, y'all ain't gonna like that. But oh, what a day that would be. And our parents talked about it at their school board meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And they handed it to them.
And for the people who didn't see it, and we talked about it a little bit last week, but even 8 days later, like the strength of that was those parents came with a message, right? And it was a message that was rooted in factual data, different articles. When Torbis talked about the dropout factory, one of the things that the reporter picked up on was like, this wasn't Torvis demonizing the school. This was an actual definition that was created at John Hopkins, which is regarded as one of the best, hospitals and colleges on the East Coast. And so they just had to like take it. And I know it was hard, but again, I think the stages they may go through is appalled that we would even say that, angry that we get time to do it, and then dismissive once the cameras are off you.
Look, John, you remember when we first got started back in 2019? I think I had just become the executive director.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a young lady that I was having a one-on-one with, and she said something to me that still tickles me today. She said that some principals asked her, was she gonna work with crazy Sonya?
Mm.
I actually love that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell y'all something. When you angry or when you are right, people will call you crazy to be dismissive, to try to dismiss you
Yeah.
and try to dismiss your legitimacy, your
Yeah.
story. And that's what they were trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, all they're doing is making me more crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be crazy for these children. My question is, when they gonna be crazy enough
Mm-hmm.
for these children to fight for these children? When they gonna be crazy enough, just crazy enough to believe
Mm-hmm.
children have the right to be taught how to read, and these children have the right to reach their greatest potential, and with hard work, dedication, and high expectations, they can. When are they gonna be crazy enough to believe that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give me a T-shirt that say "crazy sign." I'm gonna have crazy ass sign on it.
Yeah. But I think the crazy part is reading Fox 17 and looking at the comments of people who are judging, whether they're black, white, Latino, or whatever, but not realizing that it's hard to get a job in this world if you can't read. You can be a manual laborer if you well with your hands, but in order to really be able to survive in Nashville, I know for certain, but definitely other cities, like you gotta know how to read. And then a lot of these people, like, so let's go back to Glencliff. What really touched me about Glencliff was, as Miss Taylor was telling her story, I was like, man, like I've had 4 or 5 nieces and nephews go through that school system in the last 4 or 5 years. And to think about just their trajectory after they left, I was like, no, like this is real. Like this ain't no 53% is some bullshit. Like I'm gonna just say that. Like it is some bullshit that it can stay open. And I put that article in the chat for you guys to look at, and I'll just read a little bit of it.
Can I
because I,
can I say something real quick before you put while you putting that article up there?
yep.
And I mean exactly what I'm about to say. If you white and you can't read, you can be a millionaire. If you white and you can't read, you can be a millionaire. If you black and you can't read, you'll be in poverty. If you white, I'm gonna repeat this because you know what? I don't care if nobody repeated I said it because I said what I said and I got receipts. Whatever I say, I got a receipt for it. If you white and you can't read, you can be whatever you want to be. If you black or Latino and you can't read, you will end up in poverty or you'll be fighting for your life every minute of the day. And I want somebody to rebut that because I got a receipt or two.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. And it's the ugly truth is just hard to stomach. And Sonya, I know you got receipts. I already know. Because I heard part of that story. And in the article, it just says when pandemic shutdowns forced students into virtual learning, Metro Nashville Propel mom Ashley Taylor says her son struggled to focus. I think she just is quoted saying, I think a lot of children got lost during that time because they had no structure, Taylor said. But she says he's currently behind in school and feel he's reading at an eighth grade level, reading level as a junior. And then it says state data shows just 13% of students at Glencliff are on grade level for English 1 and just 9% for English 2. And the Fox 17 News special report found the school had a 53% graduation rate, making it a dropout factory, according to researchers at Johns Hopkins. End quote. That's where we are. 53%, because I was thinking it was 63, which is still not good. But as I reread it, it's 53. So again, when those students, if they graduated this year, so when those students walked through the doors August 1st of 2018, one by one, every student that came in, the student behind them was not going to make it to graduation. And what does that mean for our community? Like, what does that mean for growth for people who have been born and raised and went to schools here? Like, can they get some of these new jobs?
I have a question for everybody on the sound of my voice. Thank you, Cree. You know I'm gonna keep it real, baby. This is a question that we all gotta ask ourselves. And it hasn't taken me long to get here. As
Mm-hmm.
we listen to parents every day, John, how much longer are we going to keep putting up with this bull? And as parents, what is the bold action that we're willing to take a stance?
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching X-Men, and I don't remember which one it was. I used to love all the X-Men series. And it was when Iceman was going through the academy. And it was like 5 or 6 of them. And I think that in that movie, they had found like the thing, the cure for the mutation or whatever. It might have been X-Men Last Stand. And my question to the parents and the community leaders under my voice, when we gonna take a stance?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna take a bold action. And if you are ready to do so, I want you to go to our website if you haven't already done so. And I want you to go to NashvillePropel.org and I want you to join the movement. And in the comments, I want you to tell me you're ready to take a step. And for the parents who have already joined our movement, the very next time that we come together for a campaign call, which is in January, I want to hear that you're ready to take a stance and you're ready to take some bold action. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I need to hear from you guys. And we have to do that together. When will we take a stand?
Yeah, so I put a few quotes, and Kendall says they even get better and more resources than we do. And it says, this was a quote from the Fox 17 article. The lady said, Metro school administrators say Glencliff has a high percentage of students who are economically disadvantaged and a high percentage of English learners. And then they end with district leaders say work is underway to identify and help students may be headed who may be headed. Like we saying 53%. So like the maybes go out the door, right? Like, and then it says they're underway, like words matter. So when they said underway, that means it ain't launched yet. It's some because they got hit with this article. Miss Taylor spoke out. They're rushing to get a plan, but if you're rushing to get a plan, you're not gonna follow through. And if they economically disadvantaged, which means they can't read, Sonya. So they said that because they're economically disadvantaged, and a high percentage of English language learners, they score poorly on tests. Well, when do you get out of that poverty? If that's the case, just because you economically disadvantaged, that just means the cycle continues. Up, economically disadvantaged. Up, you're an English language learner. Like you never teach them, and then they have the kids who come through the system, and you say the same thing. I taught your mom. I taught your dad, and you can't do nothing for them because in your mind, yeah, you economically disadvantaged. So we ain't even gotta try because we got an excuse ready.
I've heard so many people say that. I think the first time that I really heard a leader that had power say that was Amy Frog.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she would write these long posts and things about kids, black kids being poor. And I started like looking at, I'm like, wait a minute, because I know folk that came from University Court and so I know folk that grew up with holes in their floor
Mm-hmm.
in their house.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what
18 kids, like
yeah,
some of
like
my relatives.
poor, yeah, like what's poor got to do with teaching somebody how to read? What's poor got to do with children going to school and getting an education? Then I realized that the real smoke screen was is the fact it was linked into racism.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime somebody says that to you, go right back to racism. Black and can't, black and don't deserve,
Mm-hmm.
black and overlooked, black and the bias that's tied to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is. Black and ain't got no daddy. What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just an excuse, man. It's an excuse.
So, but I hear you guys. Like we are. I mean, Krishan says I'm not gonna keep dealing with it. I'm tired, angry, and over it. I'm fired up and ready to go. Give me the date so I can request off. Kendall says march with a purpose. Jarvis Turnley just comes out and says the district line and don't care. Krishan says break the cycle, which I love that term because it gets me really focused on what we need to be breaking, and we know it. They trying to cover their butt and rushing a plan can't and won't work until they work with the parents and kids that it affects.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it's so funny because I go back to when our parents spoke at the school board, which was very powerful. And the school board chairwoman stated, "Our kids go to public school, but your kids don't go to the low performing schools in our neighborhood. So they're okay with our children being stuck in those schools. And we just, in other words, she said, we care, but you just got to deal with it over there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Parents, we're going to take a stand.
In the fellowship, the easiest thing we do a couple of comparisons. Culture. You know, things that we understand if you grew up in Nashville or spent at least 5 or 10 years, you understand it. So we talked about, remember, son, we talked about princes, right, and how they started, and how it was no competition, and how the competition came in like a thief in the night, and they took a lot of the market share. But we also talk about our grocery stores, and everybody know, depending on your preference, but the true reality is all grocery stores are not created equal. All grocery stores are not created equal.
You want me
And
to
if
tell them the
I,
story, huh? You
yep,
want me to
yep,
tell the story?
yep.
Okay. So I live in the hood. It's being gentrified a little bit, but it's the hood. And so when I get ready to go to the grocery store, the nearest grocery store in the hood that's been there for 30, 40 years is HG Hills. Now, when I go in there, the quality ain't as good.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't as good. So the next thing that I got is a couple of miles up the street is a Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Quality still not that good. Fruit flies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
the
It's
HG
bigger.
the HG Hill smell like death when you go in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I done called the Department of Agriculture and the Health Department on the HG Hills. I think they got dead bodies back here.
Mm-hmm.
So then I go up to Walmart. It's fruit flies.
Mm-hmm.
Saying I can't find some of the stuff I need. You hear what I said? I can't find some of the stuff I need. So then I have to jump on 5 and go north,
Mm-hmm.
7115 to the Kroger Madison, the Madison Kroger.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a little bit better quality, but you might get hawk 52 in there. The fruit don't look, it look okay. It's better than the H Hills and better than
Mm-hmm.
Walmart. So if I want a little bit more quality, I got to go to a Publix. Now I can
Mm-hmm.
go nasty because it's gentrified.
Mm-hmm.
Still far away from my house.
Mm-hmm.
Still don't have the access. Or I have to go to Conference Drive before the East Nasty Publix. Now, when you go in Publix, they're going to wipe your basket.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, how you doing? Before you get, they're going to tackle you when you get in the door. How you doing?
Mm-hmm.
That's a Chick-fil-A at grocery stores. Food going to be nice. Bakery going to be nice. Meat going to be nice. Everything gonna be nice. Like you in bed.
Mm-hmm.
So that to say, I don't have access to quality,
Mm-hmm.
even in grocery stores. And same thing with schools, same things with healthcare and jobs. That's the grocery store situation. All y'all can relate to that. Y'all know exactly what.
Mm-hmm. But Sonya, my aha moment was when you said HG Hills. I thought about Maplewood and Tom Joy. When you said the Walmart, I thought about the Chadwells and the Amquis, or the Madison Middles, which is close too. And so I'm gonna just start doing something. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go to a grocery store because I done been in the Publix, and I was like, oh, now I see why Brittany always want to go to Publix, because I was a Kroger's guy. Like that's just what I grew up with. But I was like, Publix, they not playing around. And then one time I had the opportunity to visit Whole Foods. Oh, I don't got the money for Whole Foods like a private school, but I love going into Whole Foods. Now, my bill may be $75 and I might have 6 things in my cart, but I enjoy it. And I look at paying for a private school like it's creme de la creme. But we looking for, what are those, the Trader Joe's, it's a few more. Like, I'm gonna start looking. What does the grocery store look like? I think Miss Mama just said the Save a Lot's even different. I didn't know. I just been
But
to the
where,
Save a
but
Lot.
where are the Save-A-Lots?
Mm-hmm. I
Where are the
just been to the one on
Save-A-Lots
Cotton.
located? Where you live, the color of your skin. Chris said Kroger's in Dickinson Road. It don't look like the Kroger's in Madison.
Mm-hmm.
That's where
Right.
a lot of Latino families live, a lot of Black families live. It does not look the same. The Kroger in Goodlettsville is not the same as the one in Nashville.
Mhm.
Quality, shelving, all of that, not the same. We're saying this so you guys can understand the hypocrisy, the racism, even in your everyday life. You
Yeah.
don't have what food you eat. You don't have a choice to the access to that quality food, which is what you need for nourishment.
Mhm. To get off that high blood pressure and the diabetes. Like you can't do it without eating fresh food. But if you don't have access to fresh food, it's gonna be a family history.
So then why you got a lot of black people with high blood pressure and overweight? Because you
Mm-hmm.
all you got on your shelf is noodles and processed food.
Mm-hmm.
Racism, even in what you eat. They not finna do that in Goodlettsville and East Nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Nashville and West Nashville. They not finna have that. Hell, down the street from my house, they finna put the juvenile detention down the street from my house.
Mm.
They moved it. They moved it from the stadium. Let me tell y'all something. When black folks don't have a choice, we die.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Increase as organic food is expensive, but then it just goes back to if you can't get a decent job and shit. When I was fresh out of college and in college, we always laugh like growing up in high school, we had the noodles. Now kids eat the noodles without even like putting it in the boiling water. I don't know what that's
I saw
about.
somebody. I saw somebody fix a toilet seat with a pack of noodles. Ain't nobody got no business eating that shit.
I know, but I
The
ate it.
damn noodles. I saw this video where something they were missing a piece of the toilet seat. They took the noodles, they sanded it and painted it and made the fucking made the toilet seat. Stop giving your kids noodles.
I
That's
know.
not good for them. Stop giving them that. And I know
Yeah,
you can't afford it. Stop letting people kill your children.
yeah. Because
Stop
it's
giving them processed sugar. Stop giving them sugar. Sugar is bad for black people. I'm gonna teach y'all some stuff next year.
yeah, but connecting it to institutional racism, like again, like when I used to get a check, I worked for a governor's campaign fresh out of college. I thought I had made it, but my rent was subsidized. It was $125 a month, and it used to be 100, and it went up 25, and I was mad because that $25 affected me. I had a car that was paid off, but it was an 85. I graduated in 2006, so it was an old school car. It did what it needed to get. And TGI Fridays had a 3 for $20 meal where you got the dessert, the entree, and an appetizer all for $20. I could do that once a month, my friend and I, because after I paid my rent, after I put gas in my car and bought groceries for lunch, I was going to Exxon getting those 2 for $2 hot dogs. I put the relish on it, the jalapeno, the mustard, like all of that stuff I was doing not because I wanted to, because it was filling my belly up, and that's all I had. And so when you got people in Nashville who can't make a decent wage, like you know what they're gonna eat? Them noodles. The noodles are it's 15 cents a pack, and sometimes cheap. But that salt is gonna hit you on the back end because when you got to go to the doctor and you get that doctor bill, you're gonna stay in poverty.
We're gonna do some. We're gonna, you know what? We saving our people in
Yeah.
2023. We're gonna do some nutrition classes. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
show y'all how these folk killing us on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna give our kids. We look. I know it's hard. I'm struggling over here too. But somebody gonna give us some good food for our kids too. But most of all, they're gonna give us good education. See, this is the thing. Some stuff we can do at home, but some stuff we can't do at school. We
Yeah.
focus on academic, but some stuff we can do at home. We're gonna fix that. Let us fix our own shit at home. She said, Sonya, it's not that simple not to give your kids certain. We're gonna make it that simple, Creed. You right. I do it too. So I ain't shaming nobody. But when
Yeah.
we know better, we can
Yeah.
plan better, we can think better, we can go get some stuff. We can teach some stuff, and that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
For one, I have ADD. Sugar is bad for ADD. Rita said, time to break the cycle. Time to break the cycle. Time to break the cycle.
Yeah.
Keep breaking this thing. You see, nobody tells people with children with ADD, when you give them sugar, it's not that it makes them hyper. Let me school y'all on something.
Okay.
It actually affects their executive function. It's not that it messes with their brain cells. It's like a drug. That's how I know, because I have ADD. And it gives me really bad, sugar gives me bad brain function. Slows down my brain function real bad. Sugar. Simple sugar. So Cree, I'm not shaming, but we're gonna break this cycle. We're gonna let because when we know, and then we're gonna find places where we can, because them little ladies over there at the school board to be coming talk about their food. We're gonna partner. We're gonna partner with them. And we're gonna find a way. Cree, as a matter of fact, I'm putting you over that. I'm gonna put you over that. We're gonna find partners where we're gonna take care of our families.
Yep.
I'm sick of waiting on everybody else to come save us.
Yep.
We're saving ourselves. We gonna do our very best. Some stuff that we can eliminate, some stuff that we can't, the things that we can, we're gonna work together and we're gonna do. Because they kill us and they don't care. They'll just keep on letting it happen to us and won't even help us.
You know, I was getting those free blood pressure checks at 23. And the lady was like, "Did you eat before you took this blood?" I'm like, "No, like I ain't ate today. Like I drank some coffee." She was like, "Your blood pressure is really high." And it's the diet. And that was at 23. So just imagine if I would have kept up the same habits, eating those, 2 for $2 hot dogs, those Exxon nachos, the noodles with the chicken, and then making my own recipe.
And I got
All
2
that.
boxes of noodles up there. They ain't getting no more damn noodles. I got 2. They gonna eat them. They gonna eat them noodles.
Yeah.
I got stuff I got to clean up in my own house. Like
I got them in my house too.
I got 2 and I eat them sometimes.
Yeah.
I ain't ate them since I saw somebody make that fix that toilet. I said, I be damn. You can't do nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, like we're growing, we got a movement, we got a lot of factual data, but sometimes we got to break it down where people understand. And this whole grocery stores and communities correlated to how the schools are, it's becoming more real and real each day. And so we're gonna keep this train moving. We got Thanksgiving next week, so we'll be here Wednesday, and then we'll check it out and get this good dressing in turkey.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking.
I want to say this: if y'all one of my Propel parents and you don't have family to be with Thanksgiving, you don't have enough money for food, I want you to come to my house and eat with me. Did y'all hear me? If you don't have family, you don't have no plans, and you don't have nobody to be with, I want you to come eat with Miss Sonia, Auntie. Come eat with Auntie. Okay? Just text me. Let me know you coming. I'm probably gonna tell you to bring something so I can make sure you come. But for our families, our Propel families, I'm opening up my home. And I want to spend. She said, Sonia, I'm coming. Okay.
I mean, after you put all those plates online, like like you done open up the door.
During pandemic, I was that's why I gained 40 pounds. Boy, I was cooking for professors at TSU and everywhere. And I ain't hardly see nobody. I just put it, it's on the porch. They text me. It's on the porch. Whole meals. But yeah, come on, Cree. I'm inviting y'all to my home, my little house on the prairie. With me and my family. But you got to be a Propel family. I got to know you. I got to know you. And then if I don't know you right now, let's get to know each other so we can eat together next
Come
year.
on now. Fellowship.
Victoria said, Auntie, I may have to bring the grandson to see you that day. Come on, Vicky G. I would love
Hmm.
to have you. You and Malik, your grandson, your children. I would love to have y'all. I'm feeling, I'm feeling, I'm feeling thankful, John.
Hmm.
Feeling like I want to give. I want to give.
'Tis the season to be jolly.
Yeah.
'Tis the season.
Y'all need to take COVID tests, and then y'all need to make sure,
Mhm.
like the rest of this week, you ain't getting sick, RSV,
Yeah,
flu, all that stuff. If you snotty, you don't feel good, you tired, don't come over here.
yeah. Give it a break. Get well. Get well.
Well, we'll do it another time. And I'll put a plate on the porch. Don't come over here making me sick.
Yep.
But those of you who want to come, Cree and Victoria said they coming. Text me.
All right. Well, thank you guys as we come to an end this week. We will see you next week for the people on the campaign call. I got your assignments. Looking forward to that. We are excited. And then we will see you guys here next week. And then also remember to get ready for the speaker series. We'll have the Tennessee Titans in the building. And nah, not the ones that play at Nissan stadiums, but the ones who work hard in Nashville and Memphis. So look forward to that
Oh, that's gonna be hot.
one.
Woo! That's woo! Woo! We're gonna talk our stuff that day.
Yep.
Woo! It's the last
Yep.
series of the year. And you know I love me some Sarah. I love me some Sarah. So I'm so excited. I texted her and confirmed a couple of days ago. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, woo! Y'all get ready.
Hey man. All right, thank you guys. Real seriously though, good to see you again. Yep, TSUALB nominated for a Grammy. Nothing shows.
Yes.
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 Hey.
Thank you. That I know that was Rhea because Rhea be.
Yep. You know, she
Thank
the
you, Rhea.
encyclopedia.
Thank you.
And then we'll end with Miss Moffin's quote. She says, "Nothing shows
Mhm.
unity like breaking bread."
That's my girl.
Yep.
That's my girl. All right,
All right,
y'all.
guys.